It's important to dialogue with the HTS, the Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, who's just taken over most of Syria, and also to urge Turkey and the Syrian National Army to also protect religious minority rights, because we have seen um, crimes against Kurds, Christians, Yazidis, and others in the areas the Syrian National Army and Turkey has invaded in the last couple of weeks. The US has a lot of levers right now with Syria. They have sanctions on Syria, they have Caesar sanctions on Syria, they have HTS on the terrorist list. They have Abu Mohammed al-Jilani, who's now going by the name Ahmed al-Shara, the leader of HTS. He's on a terrorist list. So there should be some demands for the treatment of all citizens of Syria to be treated with respect and as equal citizens before those type of sanctions are being lifted. So the U.S. has a lot of power here, and hopefully they will want to build a Syria for all Syrians. You're right. As the U.S. got more involved in Iraq, it seemed that hurt the minorities. It didn't help the minorities. So I think urging and keeping sanctions on Syria until we see that the minorities are included and they're safe is important. Also, standing with the Democratic Autonomous Administration in North and East Syria, a refuge for religious and ethnic minorities where there's protection for all citizens, and that minorities are actually a part of government. So again, we have this other majority Kurdish, or Kurdish run, I should say, because now it's actually a majority Arab area that was started by the Kurds, but now is a multi-ethnic, multi-religious government. So I think it's important that the international community provide support, just like they do the Kurdistan region of Iraq, another just a place that has so supportive of religious communities and is welcoming to all religious communities. The same in Northeast Syria. And so it's important we stand with those of you that are providing these type of conditions. Unfortunately, we have not seen positive conditions for religious minorities in the areas that Hayat Tel al-Sham has run previously, which is Idlib. They were listed by the United States government as an entity of particular concern because of their severe violations of religious freedom. So even though there's a promise that Syria will not be run the way Idlib was run, the history of HTS is troubling. So it's important that we watch closely and make sure that these religious communities are included in government and are safe. The difference right now for HTS is they need the international community. They need the United States support. They need sanctions lifted, and they need economic activity in the country that has been devastated after 13 years of civil war. So right now, it's important that the U.S. does not move quickly to lift sanctions. Instead, wait to see how this government forms in Damascus. But at the same time, the U.S. and the international community should be providing humanitarian aid and all sorts of support to the people in Syria, including those in the northeast, some that fled the Syrian National Army as they captured Sheba. I think there's over 100,000 IDPs right now in Raqqa and Tabqa that are in desperate need of humanitarian support. So there's ways the US and the international community can support the people of Syria during this time, but lifting sanctions is not the right move quite yet until we've seen that this is going to be a government for all the Syrians.